we've got the outline of our document built, and so now we need to go back to Canvas to the project, and we're gonna click the Gutenberg link, which will bring us to this page. It should go ahead and bring you to chapter 1, but I can click on it so it'll look something like this. It starts with "Call me Ishmael," and we're going to copy about the first 5 paragraphs, so that'll take us just to where it says, "But here is an artist." So I'm going to get everything except that. So I select all of that, copy it, and then I'm going to go back to my InDesign file, and with a little bit of luck, that's going to fit in here where my lorem ipsum is. So I want you to see what I did there. I used my text tool. I just put my cursor anywhere in this text box, and I selected all, which is Command A, which I think is under Edit? Yeah, Edit, and select all, and it selects all of the type. That way I'm going to replace all of this type, and then I'm just going to Command V, or if we wanted to, we could go to Edit and paste, and that's going to put in all of my Moby Dick type. So the Moby Dick text is in here. I will notice that there's a little red box down here, and what that is indicating is that there's more text than what is visible on the screen. Excuse me. So the text is bleeding outside of this box, but that's okay for right now. We are also going to place our photos, and so we're going to select our photo boxes one at a time, and we're going to go to File and place. I might even, before I do that, let's go ahead and save this document, because right now it's still an untitled document. So I'm going to go up to File and Save, and I'm going to save it into the Moby Dick folder that we just created. Here we go, Moby Dick. And so I've got so I'm saving it into the same folder where I saved my 4 whale photos, and that'll make this just a little bit easier. And so I'll call this Moby Dick, and I'm going to put 24 on there, just so that I remember that it's 2024. Sorry, there's some announcement going on in the background here. And so I leave the INDD on my document when I save it. So hit save, and that goes in there. And now placing the photos should go pretty easy. So I'm going to grab each photo. I'm going to select these one at a time, go File, and Place. And I can go to my recent places, and so there's my Moby Dick folder with my 4 photos. And so I'm just going to grab the first one, and all I see is water. I kind of expected that. I'm going to grab the second one, File and Place, and I'll put in my second photo. My third box, once again, File and Place, and I'll put in the third photo. And then I'll select the 4th box and File and Place, and we'll put in the last photo. Now, just like we did last time, we can select each one of these, and we can go to Object and Fitting, and we can fill the frame proportionally. So that way we see the entire or more of the photo. We can move the photo around inside that box, and so I moved this one up a little bit so that I see more of the tail. And I'll do this one, Object, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally, and again, Object, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally, and this one, Object, and Fitting, and Frame Proportionally. And then with each one of them, I'm going to grab my Direct Selection tool, or the white arrow tool, and I can adjust these so that I can make them a little bit more visible. I'm actually not liking that these 2 whales are kind of in the same position, so I may rearrange some of these, and I'll get this guy's nose visible in here. And we do have some options if I wanted to make one of these a little bit bigger, if I wanted to fill this a little bit more. I can go to my properties and I can see that right now this is only 13% of the original photo size. I can type a number in there like 15, and now it's a little bit larger, and if so, it fills the whale in the photo is filling the box just a little bit more. And I can do that with any of them depending on the look that I wanted. Okay, so now I've got my actual text, I've got my photos that I want. I do want to put in my my headline, which is just going to be the first sentence of the story, which is "Call me Ishmael." So I can copy that if I don't want to type Ishmael because it's easy to misspell for me anyway. And I'm going to put a pretty big text box in there. I'm going to paste it in, and then I want it to be fairly big. I'm going to start just by putting it at 72 points. That's going to get me close. It may not be exactly right. We could try a couple of different fonts, but I think I want to use the Bodoni Egyptian, maybe the Pro Bold or the Pro Black. Maybe I do have an extra bold. Let's try the black. Now it's hyphenating my name, so that means this one doesn't fit at 72. So I can we'll try it a little bit smaller. We'll see what happens at 65. That's a little bit better, but still a little too big. And so let's try 60. And that's not bad. And I think I'm just going to put this at where my half-inch margin is. I'm going to leave this guide is going to be where my byline goes. And right now, the period is on the wrong side of the guide, but that's actually okay. In layout design, we call this hanging punctuation. It's actually considered kind of fancy. So we'll leave that right now. And then this book has sort of a secondary title. I think it's called The White Whale or Moby Dick. But we can go back to our title here and get the exact title. It's back up here at the top. Moby Dick or The Whale. And then the author is Herman Melville. So I'm just going to grab all three of these things. And I copied them. We'll go back to InDesign. And I'm going to put in two text boxes this time. So I'm going to put one over on the left. I'm going to put a separate one over here on the right, and I'll just start by pasting in here on the left. Now it also copied all of those returns, so I'm going to delete those out. We don't need those, so it'll look something like that. And then we're going to put Herman Melville on the other side, so I'm just going to cut that, Command X, make this text box smaller again. And then I'm going to come over to this text box and I'm going to paste in by Herman Melville. Now this one, we're going to change, well, maybe we'll stop here with this one because we've got everything about where we want it to go. I'm going to move Moby Dick over to my guide and maybe down here onto my base guide and put this one on my base guide also. I can turn off my guides. I can go to a preview mode and I can get an idea of what it's starting to look like. So it's starting to come together. We still have a long way to go, but we're going to get there. Okay.